Good morning. Hi, Ten, George, Oti, and happy Monday. Hope you had a nice weekend. The weekend was really nice. It's very warm. Actually, it was 90 degrees, believe it or not. It's almost like summer. So, yeah, pretty soon I can swim in the outdoor too. That's great. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, the weather is really nice for
I forgot my list.
any outdoor promoting or marketing, especially for door knocking. So if you are thinking of door knocking, this is the perfect season. Okay, and the activity is like picking up a little bit too. Usually from March to October, that's the best season for the real estate. If you haven't wrap up your engines, this is now the time to do so. And if you don't have any business plan, come to talk to us. If it's either Michelle or me, and we can point you in the right direction. Okay, it's very important to have a business plan because that's your roadmap. You have to know the map before you know where to go. Okay, and that's very important too. And you know that Nicole is going to talk to us about the red flags that we should be understanding in the transaction and how to prevent it before closing. It should be a very interesting and educational topic. And but before that, I would like to introduce the other affiliates. Let's begin with Unita. Go ahead, Unita.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Peter, Michelle. Hi, Ten. Home warranty for America, the 13 months home warranty. We give additional 1 month free. And I do want to let everybody know too, we do have that homeowner insurance deductible up to $1,000 that is different than everybody else, that no one else have. So if you do have a plumbing system issue and then you have a secondary damage that you filed to your homeowner insurance, you could come back to us to get additional $1,000 for your claim for your secondary damage. So this is very helpful for a lot of people that don't have money for their homeowner insurance. Let me know how can I be able to help you. And we're still 13 months, so we give additional 1 month free. And if you need any open houses, let me know. Then I'm sure Nicole have some stuff to let us know. Then we will be here for you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Unita. You are still the 13-month warranty, huh?
Yes, we're always going to
That's
be
good.
13 months. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, I think that's all the affiliates. I don't know what happened. I guess they are taking a break, a spring break or something. So do we have any affiliate in the training room,
No.
Michelle? No? No, if not, then we'll have Nicole present her affiliate, I mean, spotlight today. Thank you. Nicole, go
Thank you.
ahead.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Peter and Michelle, for this time to share this important information to help educate and support your success. I don't know if you know this, but this year I celebrate 34 years in the title industry, and I'm
Wow.
excited that 26 of those years have been with Fidelity National Title. And I'm grateful and thankful for clients like you for your support and to walk alongside you and help you with your business, help you navigate issues that may arise. So, my goal this morning is very simple. I want to help you recognize some of the most common red flags that we see in our title reports and in escrow. And I want to help you identify those early before they delay your closings. Because in real estate, as you know, the quicker we handle situations, the easier it is for us to solve them, right?
Mhm.
And so I want to share some of the common red flags that we see in our prelims are brought about by searching the property as well as running a statement of information or the SI. So these red flags are, common in some transactions, but most of our transactions go very smoothly. So some of these examples that we see as red flags are judgments and liens, bankruptcies, divorces, encroachments, easements, the way the vesting is held, if it's held in a trust or a corporation, power of attorney issues, as well as maybe a buyer changing at the last minute, right? So as you know, most of these will not kill the deal, but we can help you move the transaction along, and they may delay the closing, but ultimately our goal is to help you close your transactions. So first of all, with the statement of information, as I mentioned, that is one of our, the second part of our title search. So when we say we need a statement of information, that information is collected. It asks for the owner's name, their place of employment, and residence for the past 10 years. If they're married, their Social Security, and additional information. So it's very, very important that we get this information as soon as possible. And a lot of times, if an issue arises, many times it's because the SI was provided to us with the documents at the time of closing. So that SI will help clear names. Let's say John Smith or Maria Garcia, David Lee. These are common names. So with that SI, it will allow us to cross-reference the information that's provided in that SI to then be able to clear it from our preliminary title report. So again, SI is very important. And also with the SI, this will show any federal tax liens, state tax liens, child support, spousal support, civil judgments. These may also be recorded on the property. So it is very important to review your prelim and make sure that you don't show any of these items. And if you do, get on the phone with myself or any of your favorite title reps. We're here to support you and answer any questions that arise. Now, with child support and spousal support, if there's a payment plan, all we require is a demand to show that they're current on their payments. But as far as federal tax liens, state tax liens, or judgments, we require demands, which take time. It could take up to 30 days for escrow to obtain those demands. And remember, escrow is the one that works with you and your clients to request those demands, and then they provide them to us as a title company. Okay. Now, bankruptcies. If your client has filed the bankruptcy, it's very important that you know, because the seller may not have the authority to sell the property. The court may be the ones that offer that support, okay? So again, Chapter 7 and 13 are the most common that we see in residential transactions. And it's just important when you're having conversations with your sellers or even your buyers that they share this information with you. Divorces. This is also a potential red flag. And the way that we find out is if your clients notify you, or when they're completing that statement of information, if it says unmarried, single, or married, depending on how they check that box, then that will trigger, okay, let's see, how is the vesting held? If it says that they're, let's say, unmarried, then we will require documentation to remove that spouse. If they're divorced and a deed was not recorded to remove that spouse, then that will be recorded through the transaction. We'll also ask for a divorce decree to see who was awarded the property, and possibly a settlement agreement. So again, in your meeting with your sellers, as Peter said, we're going into the springtime. This is the hottest time of the year. This is when most sellers or property owners decide to put their properties on the market. So make sure you're having these conversations, gather as much information from the potential seller when you're meeting with them. Also, list pendants or notice of pending action. These are lawsuits that may be recorded on the property. We are not able to pass clear title to the new buyer unless the list pendants is released or withdrawn. So just remember that, and that could take some time. Okay, so make sure you're having conversations again about these issues. Easements. I'm sure many of you see easements in our prelim. These will show if there's utilities, underground pipes, and these also ingress and egress. These are important, especially if you have buyers that are looking to add an ADU, which we're seeing a lot of right now. ADUs, maybe a pool being constructed, or additions. So just remember, we can plot those easements on a map that's included in our prelim, and they're color coded so that you can see exactly where they are on the property. That's free. And typically when I open the prelims on sale transactions, I always ask for the easements to be plotted. That way you have that information. Now, vesting. If the vesting is held in a trust, a corporation, or an entity, we will require supporting documentation. So if it's in an entity, we'll ask for the entity documents. We need to clarify who's authorized to sign. We need to know if they're in good standing. And then in a trust, if both parties are still alive, then we typically just ask for a trust cert. And if both parties are deceased and the heirs are now listing the property to sell, then we will require a complete copy of the trust as well as any amendments to make sure that we're working with the proper parties. Okay. And then this will help avoid any last minute delays in your closings. Now, one of the other red flags that is popping up now, and this is great when you're going in to have your listing presentation, is solar leases. So if you're walking around the property and you see solar panels on the home, on the roof, ask the owner, are those solar panels leased or do they own them? It's very important because if they're leased, then there will be typically 2 documents that are recorded on the property. Okay, and so those have to be released in order for the new buyer to take title. There's a couple of options. The seller can pay them off, or the buyer can take on that new lease. However, they do have to qualify with the lender, or excuse me, with the solar company, and then they would assume that solar lease. So again, it's very, very important to ask questions when you're sitting down with the sellers. That way you've got some of this information in the back of your head. And when you sign that listing agreement, I know you've heard all of us on here, all of the title reps. Make sure you open a listing prelim. This is why, so that we can go through the prelim with you to see if there are any red flags that can be addressed before you open escrow, especially if it's an all cash transaction. And that's one other thing. I know we've all been talking about FinCEN, the AML, the anti-money laundering. So this is also another way for you to educate your clients and let them know that there are changes within the federal government. And if a new buyer comes in, they're an entity, a trust, a corporation, an LLC. If it's a non-financed transaction and it's residential, just let them know that there will be requirements for them to complete documentation. So this is just a little bit of what we cover or what we see as red flags. And I hope you found this useful. I just want you to know that I'm always here for you, to support you, walk alongside you, and guide you. And I truly appreciate all of you. I appreciate this time and look forward to helping you grow your business this year. I'm excited. I know it's going to be a great year. As Peter said, things should start warming up as we head into spring. And now that we have extra daylight in the evening, it's truly a perfect time to get out there and prospect. Please give me a call if I can assist you with any of your title needs, and I'd love to partner with you and work with you on your next transaction. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Nicole. That's really, really informational and educational. And you're right, those red flags are very, very important. You know, you mentioned about the solar panel. You know, those solar panels are not automatically assignable. So you have to be very careful. You know, when you're working with the buyers and sellers, you have to make sure that they're on the same frequency, you know, or wavelength, I should say. You know, so that it won't affect your closing, because the assignment can take a little bit of time too with the solar panel company, and also the fencing. The fencing is another thing that will affect your closing as well. I understand, Nicole. Right now, because of fencing, the title insurance company doesn't do accommodation recording anymore, right?
Correct.
So who does that now?
So we have a third-party vendor that we've been referring, and I've been referring them for quite some time. It is DocStar Services. I can put their information in the chat if you'd like, but they don't just do the accommodation. They have to prepare the document and record it. So if the client already has a document, they won't just record that. They have to prepare it, and then they'll record it.
Wow, what happened to the attorneys who prepared the quitclaim deed? You know, when they do the trust, you know, when they do the living trust and stuff, usually the attorney drafts the quitclaim deeds. Then what happened now? They have to let the third party draft it?
So the attorneys could draft it, but they would have to file those the FinCEN documentation because they fall under that waterfall. So I don't know how a lot of the attorneys are going to be handling this. It's still, you know, all of us are still in it's a week now. So we're all still kind of learning, but you know, I had another recording service and they said, well, we don't know how we're going to handle it yet. So I'm only giving DocStar because I know for sure that they will help.
If you get more information, appreciate if you can let us know.
Definitely.
Okay.
Thank
my
you.
last question is about the statement of information. Now, you know, it's kind of a routine thing that you fill out the statement of information. But who has the responsibility to assure the validity or the accuracy of the statement of information? For example, if they don't tell you whether they have any bankruptcy, how would you know? How would you know?
So
check with
by running the name, those items would appear because
so it's automatic. You know, you run the name of then you come up with all sorts of
yes.
That's good.
So remember the search is done in two ways. One is the property search and then one is the name. And under the name, when we gather all of that, we run that. And if the name's very common, as I mentioned, it could be, you know, a stack of pages that we have to go through. So bankruptcies would show, the child support, the federal tax liens. So yes, that would appear.
So the title insurance company would do that all that for the client?
It's part of our title search because we are ensuring that we're passing clear title to the new buyer. So it's very important that we go through and make sure that we don't miss anything.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Any questions for Nicole, please?
I have a question, Nicole, regarding the statement of information.
Yes.
So that information goes to escrow or does it go to title? And I guess my clients are always worried about, I guess, their sensitive information. So do you guys have any ways to protect that?
So usually that information is collected by escrow because it's part of our preliminary title report. So when escrow's sending their documents out, they will include that and ask the seller and buyer to complete that information. Then they usually send it to our title team via a secure email. Just like we do with wire instructions, we send those securely as well. So your clients, let them know that it is secure. It's not going anywhere. It's going in our file. We're not sharing that information with anyone.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And one other thing, I was talking about wire instructions. I'm sure you know, but just a reminder, when we send our wire instructions out or even escrow, make sure you have your clients pick up the phone, call the escrow company to confirm that the wire instructions are correct because of fraud. It is huge right now. And I wanted to share this. I was listening to a podcast last week, Mel Robbins on fraud, and it's crazy. It's the third largest, it's actually the third largest economy. I just could not believe it. So it's so important to educate our clients not to respond to text messages. Don't click on links. Don't, in emails or text messages, don't click on those links. Make sure they pick up the phone and call to verify the wire instructions because fraud is rampant, especially in our business.
Yeah.
Hi, David.
I would like to ask a question of Nicole Menard. Recently I had to do a transaction on the purchase of my own home, and I said, why can't I not just bring in a cashier's check from my bank to escrow? Why can't I do it the way it used to be done many years ago, just bring in a cashier's check? Why is there such a resistance to the old-fashioned way of bringing a cashier's check? There's no wire fraud at that point. It goes from bank to bank.
There's no wire fraud, but the checks, we also see fraud with the checks, unfortunately. And so, with the wire, we can see, especially if you're verifying the accounts, we can make sure that it's protected. Versus a check, we're seeing, and we don't even accept personal checks. If someone wants to pay their property taxes, we don't accept personal checks anymore because of the fraud. So
how does the fraud occur?
So they can forge those checks.
Yeah.
And it's
You mean the
unfortunate
check
that
is a phony check?
yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, you gotta be kidding.
No. I mean, it is, we're seeing fraud. I'm sure a lot of the reps have shared with vacant land. There's so many ways that they're trying to go after our business and our clients. And
why don't you close escrow in the sheriff's office?
right.
No, actually, why
If
fraud
you
is so
close escrow in
rampant.
the sheriff's office, if there's any fraud going down, the perpetrators will never show up for escrow closing.
That's for sure, right? I agree, David.
Yeah, the wire fraud is so rampant. I know that recently our bank get defrauded, and then so a large sum of money, $2.5 million. They wire out because the guy actually the borrower phone in and saying that okay, well, wire this to that, and the teller didn't verify the identity of the caller and all that, and then they get wired out. This is crazy, Even when you talk to the person on the telephone, it doesn't eliminate all the fraudulent transactions. That's
No.
really, and now you have AI, you can imitate your voice.
Mhm.
Your voice, your
Very
face.
complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
And
anyway,
so I I don't know if any of you have secure words, or
Yes.
when between your family, it's so important that you have a word that you use, because they are using our voices with technology. If you've created videos or your
Yeah.
outgoing voicemail, they can take that information. So make sure you have a safe word created within your family. That way they can say, what's a safe
Good.
word?
Yeah, good advice. Good advice,
Yeah.
Nicole. Nicole, I'll do that.
I got something. I got something regarding what David mentioned about the cashier's check that we used to have years back. Is it the process of clearing those checks is when you get the cashier's check from the client, then it has to be cleared, and I mean the funds verified with a bank before you close escrow.
Yes.
So how can you say that there's some fraud if that process is being done on a cashier's check?
There could be fraud. So yes, depending on your escrow, they're the ones that are taking that initial deposit. So this would be a question from escrow, but there is a clearing process. So yes, they could deposit it. They've got to make sure that it clears the bank. If it clears the bank, then you're good. But if it
Right.
doesn't, then
But how come you don't, and nowadays they don't accept the cashier's check if that's the process still, it still validates the authenticity of that process.
so the cashier's check typically goes to escrow for the deposit. But if there's money coming in that needs to go to title, it has to clear the bank. We
Yes.
as a title company, we only accept wires that are coming from escrow. So if it's for your deposit, that would be a question for you to ask your escrow why they don't accept the cashier's checks. Because we're receiving the funds from escrow or from the lender. When there's items to be paid off, an existing loan, then the new buyer who is typically obtaining a loan, that money would come in to pay off that debt for the seller, right? So we take that money as a wire. We only accept wires as a title company. We don't accept cashier's checks. Escrow would be the one that would accept those depending on what their requirements are.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. And even for property taxes, because that's another thing, that's another lien. Property taxes, if they're delinquent, we don't accept personal checks from the borrower. That would have to be wired to us. Or in the past we did accept the checks, but we had to wait until they cleared with the county. But the county takes such a long time now to clear items, and especially if you're in that time frame where it's maybe 5 days before your transaction's going to close, then we're going to have to hold money until that amount clears the bank. So they're better off wiring the money, paying it through escrow, those taxes, especially since we're in the tax season right now, because we will have to hold money. Okay, so wires typically are the best source, because escrow and title are doing the job, making sure that the information that we're receiving is correct. We are picking up the phone, we are calling, we are reaching out to the sellers and buyers to verify the information. We ask a list of questions, and I'm sure escrow does as well.
Okay.
Very interesting. Yeah, I think that we have a lot of interest in this topic, Nicole.
Can I say something,
Maybe
Peter?
we should consider lunch and learn from you to teach us all this a bit of information to avoid fraudulent transfer.
Oh, I lost you for a moment.
Oh, I'm saying that we have a lot of interest in your topic today. And maybe if the agents are interested, we can hold a lunch and learn, and for you to come and talk to us all those different aspects of fraudulent transfers. And
I would love to.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
We'll consider that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right. At this
Thank you,
point,
Nicole.
thank you, Nicole, and thank you very much. All right. Well, we will have a lunch and learn this Wednesday with John Wax. He'll tell us anything the latest development on the NHD reports. That should be interesting too. But there will be no Friday training this week. We're taking a break. But I want to remind you of the spring mixer on March 20th. That's Friday from 3 to 5. So it should be a very good event, and every time we have that mixer, we have a lot of fun. So don't miss that, and make sure you put it on your calendar. Okay. All right. Any more questions? If not, then Michelle, I'd like you to brief us on the sales and listings.
Okay,
Thank you.
so for the new escrows or leases this week, we have 5132 Crown Avenue in La Cañada. That's Helen Lee. It's a residential. She is the selling agent, 1.760. Christine Finn represented both sides of the listing and selling on a lease in Alhambra, 1014 Curtis Lane, unit number A. 5029 Tierra Antica in Whittier. Tatiana Dang is the selling agent. That's 726-800. 305 Bluffdale in Monterey Park. Tatiana Dang is the selling agent for 912. New listings, 1437 Greenfield, Los Angeles. That's Emilio Campos. 2.525, and that is income property. 991 Roxbury Road in San Marino. That is a lease. Amy Wang is a listing agent at $7,200 a month. For the closed escrows, 1635 San Pasqual in Pasadena. Kathy Wang, that's residential, closed at 2.680. 168 South Monterey. Number 208 in Alhambra. Nina Shu represented both the seller and the buyer. And also number 310, she represented both. Those units sold for $820 and $825. And again, on 303, she represented both. Same project, $840,000. And 1135 Cornett Avenue in Pasadena. It's residential. Amy Wang was the listing agent, and that closed at 1.4. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Michelle. Okay, any questions? Any agents want to pitch the sales or purchase or any reduction in price at this point? No? Okay, anyone in the training room who's affiliates?
No.
Yes, who came in? No. Okay. All right, then we'll go to today's sharing that I'm going to share something with you today. It's about using the AI for real estate practice. I'm sure that you have heard about AI, and actually a lot of you have been using AI for a while now, since the introduction of two years ago. And it is very useful in real estate and save a lot of time. But in using it, it also you also incur a lot of liability, and if you are not using it correctly, you can get into trouble, especially with all the fraudulent activities that's going on right now, as Nicole mentioned it in her presentation today. And so I'm going to share with you a little bit about how to use the AI and some of the laws that are behind it, and so that you can be aware of what you need to do to safeguard yourself from the unnecessary liability. Okay. Now, as you know that AI can get into a lot of arenas that that can get you in trouble. From like misrepresentation and or violation of copyright or the violation of fair housing. It's important that you are in compliance with all those the requirements so that you don't get in trouble. Now, one of the laws that just came out recently is the AB 723. It's the new law regarding the digitally altered images. This law goes in effect January 1st, 2026, and it specifically require that any AI altered images in any setting, you must first have a disclosure that says that image has been digitally altered, and this disclosure must be reasonably conspicuous and placed on next to the image. And the second requirement is that you have to provide the original image alongside with it, with the digitally altered the image, and you must have that's the original picture. Now, the definition of digitally altered images doesn't include any photograph that you are just editing. You just have an editing technique such as the lighting, the color correction, or cropping. But it will include any material change on the images and all the things that you put in to enhance or to alter in such a way that the original picture is materially altered. And then another law that comes into effect is the Bots Act, which requires you to identify that you're talking to chatbots or robot, for that matter. And in other words, if you use the robot to make a telephone call, you must announce that this is a robot. And also when you call and then with the answer, the machine answer, they must say that this is the machine that's answering the phone call. So this kind of thing happen more and more often now. I have a couple incidents that somebody called me and then I sense that I'm talking to a machine. So I said, "Are you a robot?" And then the voice acknowledged that it is indeed a robot. And then I said, "Oh my God, you call me and want to talk to me as a robot." So I got I'm actually not offended, but I feel a little bit uneasy. So I said, I don't want to talk to the robot and hang up, So this kind of things happen more and more often now. And so the Bots Act requires that if somebody calling you as a machine, they must identify them as a robot. And now, if you're using, I'm sure that you're using the AI to write a lot of narrative and description of properties, and this is a very useful tool, because it saves you a lot of time. You used to say you spend an hour or an hour and a half to write a decent descriptions. And now you can do it in minutes, But the thing is that, with anything, with any computer or any machine, it's garbage in and garbage out. You still have to direct the robot or the AI how to write this property description. And then when you do that, you have to know what kind of laws are behind. In real estate descriptions about the property, and that make sure that you don't get in violation of the discrimination laws, with the intellectual property laws and stuff like that. So even though it's very useful in generating the literature or the content of the writing, now you still have to check the accuracy and make sure that it doesn't violate any laws or any housing laws that are associated with the property. So it is a very useful tools, but you have to check. You have to check, make sure that there's no violations. And then also you're asking whether you should use the AI for legal advice or any advice about your business practices. My answer is that yeah, you can use it to a certain extent, but you cannot rely on it for the accuracy or for the for the validity of its answer, because some of the answers are AI hallucinations. In other words, they're forming the incorrect conclusion with all the information that they process, because they are machines, they use all the data from Google, from all kinds of sources of information, and they finally formulate the result and present it to you. Sometimes they are not accurate, they kind of hallucinate a little bit. So you cannot trust them totally. And as a matter of fact, some of the attorney get rebutted or reprimanded by the judge for using the AI and quoting some incorrect legal information and arrive at wrong conclusions. So these kind of things you have to be aware of, and sometimes even if you fit in good information, the AI will generate some hallucinated result, which is not valid. So you really have to check it and use it on your own discretions. Okay. Now, if I want to use the images for the celebrities, am I allowed to do that? The general answer is no, because they have the property they have the copyright of everything that they have, including the logo, the voice and stuff like that. And that's the intellectual property, and you cannot violate the intellectual property laws, and they will sue you for copyright infringement. So when you're using the images or the voice, you have to be careful. And even if they are not celebrities, you don't want to violate any people's intellectual property. So if you want to use that image, and make sure that you get the permission to do so, instead of using it and then you from them and you generate the AI equivalent of the image, and that is not good. And also you should respect other people's intellectual properties too. And they have certain copyright, they have certain patents, and they have certain trademarks and things like that. You cannot use them if you are not permitted to do so. And then how about the automatic decision tree that a lot of companies are using now? In other words, they use this algorithm to help you to make a decision, and they use a lot of other information on the internet, and they use it to generate automatic decision for you. You have to be careful too. Some of them are not valid, and you have to use your own judgment and see if there's that will lead to any illegal discriminations, because you know the robots are not informed of all the possibility in decision making. So they are just giving you the best scenario according to the information they have. So sometimes they don't have a particular discrimination or any other things that are prohibited by the law. So you have to use your own judgment whether those decisions getting from the automatic algorithm is correct. And how about the pricing algorithm? Now this is the area in the antitrust. Now in America you are not supposed to fix prices in any categories. Even though in the professional way or business way or any other way, price fixing is forbidden. So the Assembly Bill 325, governs the area where the company use their algorithm to generate a pricing program for the other people to use, and some of them you cannot use that to generate the price. So in a price fixing the context, so that you have to be very careful. Of course, this will apply to a very large company, but even in a professional business like the real estate practices, and sometimes if you get into price fixing, that's forbidden as well. Okay. Nowadays, the Google must illegally disclose an AI answer as such, and also provide the source links. As a private citizen, am I required to do that? The answer is no. This is only for big company that it's particularly that's required by the Assembly Bill 853, and in that bill, they requires the big company to disclose whether the answer or the analysis or whatever the information they get is generated by a machine or generated by human. They have to disclose that. But in general, as a private citizen, not a large company, you don't have to disclose that much detail yet. But never know. It might later on require you to do that. But at this time, you're not required to do so. Now, what about the fraud and other scams like what we mentioned, what Nicole mentioned in fraudulent wire transfer and like that? AI is used more and more often now in the fraudulent transfer or fraudulent transactions, and it's getting very prevalent now. So you have to be very careful. You have to be very cognizant about the possibility, and they generate fake information. They generate fake facial, video or audio information, and in order to scam the other party. So this you have to be aware of all the frauds can be perpetrated by the AI. So be careful. And can a broker or agent avoid liability if they rely on AI tools? The answer is generally you cannot avoid because this it's it's a common thing, but but you cannot excuse yourself. In other words, you have to be very careful. Anyway, you cannot avoid liability just saying that, hey, I rely on this and it's given by Google, and I'm innocent. You can make that kind of defense when you're being sued for anything that's wrong. Okay. And if you're thinking of purchasing an AI robot in the near future, I'm sure that it will come pretty soon. If you are trying to use an AI robot to do your business, like presenting the business transaction, or presenting a sale, purchase, or sale to your prospective client, or use it for open house. Can you can you do that? And then so that you use the robot to interact with your clients. I'm sure that it will get more and more popular as time goes on. But this kind of things, I'm sure that it will evolve. Right now, DRE does not license a machine to be a real estate agent and to do the transaction of this real estate transactions. So when you use the AI robot, you have to be careful and make sure that they don't involve in any license activity. Now you can use a robot to carry on some assistance in the open house, but as soon as you are talking about the property and relating the the pricing, or the information about the property to the client, that's a license activity, and a machine cannot do that yet for the time being. DLE does not allow that to do the licensing activity for robots. So yeah, then you just have to be careful, and I'm sure that when it evolves more and more, there will be more and more laws to govern this engagement of AIs and the practice of real estate. And actually, the CAR is using the AI a lot, and they're introducing some programs to assist agents to do the real estate transaction. And I think that they're trying to introduce the Ethica too, which is brand new to me as well. They just talked about it in the last town hall meeting. It seems that it's a very useful tool, and it is it's AI generated. So it yet to be seen how useful it is going to be. But we will have more information as it progresses. So, but we are we are in the real estate business, and it's getting more and more AI related, and these kind of things. Yeah, it's better to be informed than not informed. So we are on the same boat, and we just have to take it as it comes. Okay, so any questions so far? I'll stop sharing right now. And any ideas, any comments? Any question at all?
Peter, it's Nicole again. May I share something really quick
sure.
that I forgot to share? Because you were
Sure.
talking about AI and fraud and all that.
Yeah.
I had a very dear friend on Friday call me, who's very, very knowledgeable. Both of us talk about all of, the fraud.
Mm-hmm.
He received a text. He thought it was from someone that he knew. He didn't pick up the phone to call. They asked him to go buy gift cards.
Oh.
He went and bought gift cards. He told them, I have the gift cards. They said, okay, great. I can't talk right now. I can only chat via text. He took photos of the back of the cards. Thankfully, they only got them for $250. They wanted more. It was a scam. And he said, I'm so embarrassed to share this with you, but I have to share. And I said, yes. I said, look, You know, you fell into it like many of us do. So make sure you verify. If you get a text like that, somebody asking for gift cards, chances are it's a scam. Pick
Yeah.
up the phone and call and make sure. Let's say it's from Michelle or Peter. Call them.
Yeah.
And if they don't respond back, don't go buy those cards.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just wanted to share. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. Good advice.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole.
Um,
Thank you very
Peter,
much.
I wanted to comment on the emails that I've been seeing about unauthorized parking in the underground parking lot. There's two solutions. The first solution is that no entry codes can be given out to anybody unless they're authorized to park there and signed an agreement to remove their car at the end of the day. The second thing that I'm going to strongly recommend is you start immediately having those unauthorized cars towed out immediately after 5 p.m. The only way people are going to learn is if they have their car towed. The first one is more sensitive. Sensitive. If you only allow people that have been pre-approved and authorized and have signed a written agreement with High-10 partners that they will remove their car after working hours at 5 or 6 p.m. You have to enforce it vigorously. That's my recommendation to you. I don't park there, but I strongly have had experience when we were running Japanese Village Plaza. You have to take a hard attitude on parking infractions.
Okay. Thank you for your advice.
Yeah.
We'll think about it. Okay. We are still trying to find a good way to implement that. Thank you, David.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right. Any more questions?
Hi,
If no
Peter.
question, I would like to adjourn this meeting. All right. Michelle, you have something to add?
Yeah, just if anybody wants to know what makes a small landlord small, as far as rent cap and just cause, just hang around, because one of the agents that's on here had that question, so I want to address it really quick at the, once we stop recording. Yeah.
All right. And if no question, we'll stop the recording. And whoever wants to leave, feel free to leave. And then whoever want to stay for Michelle's questions, go ahead. And I'll see everybody next week.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you on the other side for the question.
Bye. Thank you
everyone.
very
Bye-bye,
much.
Nicole. Bye-bye, Nicole.